Okay, so this is the first run I'm doing. I ran this with my friend. I'll probably be running with him every night. We did something light. I think it was like a good 35-minute run. We were able to get like 2.5 miles in. We're running in like literally talking pace at this point. I'm gonna try to start running every day. Kind of get back into it. I used to run cross country as a kid, and I think I peaked out at like a 4-minute 16 mile when I was 12. So I want to try to just get back to like a 6-minute mile would be nice. I ran 8 minute and 50 second the other day, but I mean I was gassed. To be fair, it was like icy on the floor and everything, and I was running like a brand new track I wasn't like really familiar with, but I felt pretty good right here. I'm not gonna lie. This was not too bad for me personally, and I think my friend Chris he said the same thing. It was pretty like light. We were running at like 15, 16 minute pace the whole time. Sometimes we picked it up to like 10, brought it down to like 18. Like we were just kind of correcting on the way. But when I ran the 8-minute mile, I was just around 240, and I'm still 240. I haven't lost any weight. It was only like 2 weeks ago. But if I could run the 8-minute mile like at 240, when I first started training, I was started at like 170, and my first mile was 7 minutes. So I 170 when I was 12. I ran it in 7 minutes, and then once I got down to 140 after 2 months of running, I was able to run a 4-minute mile. So my logic behind this is that I'll be able to run in a 4-minute mile if I lose 40 pounds. I'm assuming 10 pounds per minute on the mile. So if I start at 7 and then after I lost 30 pounds I was at 4, I'm assuming that if I'm at 8 right now and I lose 40 pounds I should be at 4. That's obviously all theoretical, and I was practicing running a lot back then. Even like when I hit the 7-minute mile, I was still running a lot. And then I just got super serious about like the cut at that time. But now we're like this is like when I start getting back into like my cut. So at 240, I'm trying to be actually like 185, 190 this summer. So I'm not just gonna lose like 40 pounds. I'm planning to lose like 60, and I think at 180, I honestly think that I'll be able to run definitely sub 7 at least. Maybe hold the 6-minute mile pace. I'll still be happy. But the goal is to hit a 4-minute mile again. And another thing, this right here is going to be my series where I log my runs. It's kind of just like hold myself accountable. So I'm going to have myself running every day and talking about how it went. All right. Anyways, so this one right here, like I said, for the first one back, I think in like 2 weeks, it felt really, really good. I mean, I felt like him and me could have probably held like a 10-minute pace for 3 miles, which I mean, it's not fucking fast or anything, but for two people at 240 pounds, it's not bad. I feel like our endurance is pretty good, and obviously our speed's lacking just because of how heavy we are. But that comes in with time. For especially like I mean for me, coming back, I haven't really done any running, so for me to feel comfortable at like a 10-minute mile pace for three, it's pretty good, at least as a starting point. And like I said, with the speed, it comes with time. As I keep on running every day, it'll kind of just start coming back to me. And if I stay at 240, I'm not gonna be able to get that fast. I'll probably be able to hold like I think at my fastest, if I was really training really hard, I could probably get like an 8-minute mile for like a 5K. So 8-minute mile split for a 5K, and that's like I said for 240 that'd be pretty good. But it's not like that's super unimpressive for just a regular person that's running. I mean, for a regular person, it's good. But I mean, like if I'm running, and it's like my main thing I've been doing. If I only run an 8-minute fucking every day, that's pretty bad. 8 minutes. But that I think for 240 would be really good. So that's my goal. If I stay around this weight, I'm obviously gonna try to go down. But let's say for the next 2 weeks, if I'm still like the 235s, I want to be able to hit like an 8-minute flat while running, or at least hold the pace for a mile. I would even like it doesn't have to be 3 miles, but if I can hold it for 1 mile, I'd be pretty happy. I would feel like okay, like we're going at it. We're moving in the right pace. In fact, if I could really bring my mile time down, if I could hit like a max out of a 7 minute mile while at 240, I would be ecstatic. I mean, just for 1 mile, and I'll be gassed. Like that would be like my 100%. But if I can hit a 7 minute mile at this weight, I'll be ecstatic because that means obviously when I lose 60 pounds, I should be flying, absolutely flying when I come back. I think that me and my friend, we're gonna try to run for like like the charity races. There's a ton of us, a ton of them by us. 5Ks, 15Ks, maybe half marathon and up. He's more the distance runner than I am. Like he could comfortably, I feel like, hit like an 8 miler, 10 miler, and I'm just like after like five, I'm dead. My legs are worthless. Like I'm just pudding. I think what that is like my endurance and my quads have always been really, really poor. Even when today we went swimming and like just doing the kicks was killing my quads, like absolutely burning them up. And squatting too, like anything past like 5 reps, I'm dead, absolutely dead. Even if I could squat it for like 10, 15, I'm after five, I just feel gassed. So with a plate, if I hit it for like 50 reps, I'm like, dude, I cannot. Maybe I'll start training with body weight. I'll try to hit my body weight for like 20, 25, and then kind of just warm my way back up. I think what I'm gonna do, honestly, the squatting sessions, I'm gonna stay at like 20, 25 reps and kind of just build that cardio, like muscular endurance, because my quads are really they need it. Also, it's just better for my lower back. I'm always squatting like the 1 to 5 rep range for squats, and it's like Jesus, bro. Like, give your spine a break. I want to try to keep my strength to weight ratio pretty good. Well, it's never like the same when I go down, but I think honestly that's like a mental thing. I think mentally, if I could keep my shit training hard, I think I could probably keep most of my strength without losing any. Obviously, to like a degree, like if I'm 240 right now and I hit a bunch of PRs at like 240, 250, I'm not gonna hit all the same PRs while I'm running. Well, not while I'm running, while I'm cutting. Like if I lose 60 pounds, like I'm just not gonna be as big as a human to pushing that much weight. But this bulk was pretty successful. Did I mean to go up all the way to 250? Absolutely not. Did I hit all my strength goals for the year? I absolutely did. So I was able to hit a 3 plate squat, which for me I thought was like the best thing since sliced bread. I mean, just hitting 3 plates as a natural lifter I feel like it's everybody's goal to hit 3 plates. Once you hit 2 plates, you're like officially like a gym guy. But once you hit 3 plates, you're like, alright, bro, like I'm getting there. You know what I mean? That's like you're becoming like one of the semi elites in like the lifting world or realm. And that's how I personally felt. I'm like, alright, I'm right there, dude. I'm making it happen. But with this book, I also did. I'm gonna bring this back, but what I also did to this book, my lifetime goal was to hit 225 on shoulder press, and I was able to do that. Hit 225 on shoulder press, and I was like, dude, this right here is phenomenal. I would like to keep while during the cut, like hit. If I'm 190, I want to hit like 205. If I can hit 205 on shoulder press while 190, I will feel like the man. I'm not planning to bulk up again like this though. I've gotten tired of just going up in weight. I'm usually like 50 pounds past whatever I'm like supposed to cut at. So this year I'll probably be lean like around 200 pounds. Last year, no, I mean 2 years ago, I was lean at 190. So this year it's probably gonna be like 200. But that like I'm sick of it, man. I don't want to keep on doing this cutting and bulking shit, especially like now that I'm older. I'm 22. I'm not like dying, but now that I'm older, I don't want to just keep on doing this day in and day out. She's like, ugh. You know what I mean? Man, what I really like about this run is like it just felt so easy. Like normally when I'm trying to hit mileage, because for me, I usually trained mid distance. I'm like 400 meter to 800 meter. Max, I'll do like a mile, maybe like 800-meter repeats. If I'm really trying to push it, but like when I'm going like anything past 2 miles, that's like really like me trying to like build up my mileage. And so for this, like the 3 mile, like I don't think I've ever ran a 3 mile that felt this easy. and that's part of like just running slower. Because normally I'll run 3 miles, and I'm talking like to Chris right here, my friend that I have a terrible pace. Like I just don't pace myself. I'll run when the race starts at 100%, and then I'll die out and like run 40% for the first mile, and then I'll get back to like my 90 or like whatever my pace should be at by like the second mile. But at that point, like I've already missed like majority of a race, and that's like my problem as a runner. So to build up my mileage, I'm really just gonna try to. What hit me there? You saw that? It was like a little like tree on me. But what I'm trying to do like is just hit more mileage, and in my own time I'll do like my speed training, like my 400 meters, my 800 meters, because it's just a lot, man. I want to try to just be able to hit a comfortable 3 5 miler without having to think about it. And this was a good, I would say a good 3 miler for me. Like it just felt so easy. And obviously, a 3 miler should be easy if you're going at like 15-minute pace, because you could literally walk a mile probably in like 15 minutes if you were like really trying. So I mean, I'm happy with the first run coming out like this, personally. I think we hit like a top pace of like 8 minutes, 7 minutes. I could actually check it right now. And sometimes like in my runs, I'll check like the stats, and I'll hit like a top running pace of like 4 minutes. And it's like I'm running a 1 mile run or like a 1.5. Why am I at any point running at 4 minutes if my goal is to hit like 7 minutes? Like I should be at the 7 minute mile pace the whole time, basically. But I'll have stints where I'm at like 8 9 minutes, and then I'll have stints where I'm at like 4 minutes per mile, speed wise. And the problem is just the pacing. Like sometimes I'll like the music on my headphones will be really good, so I'm like really pushing it, and things like that will just kind of not mess up my run, but it takes away from the strategy of the run itself. So if I know I'm trying to hit 6.3, and I'm running at one point at like 4, or running at another point at like 8. It's just like, what are you doing? Like you're literally missing the sight of the goal in itself by changing your pace all of a sudden. So let me see what my max pace was. Yeah, max pace was 6 minutes. It was 5 minutes and 55 seconds. And to be fair, this was at the very end where me and Chris, we like ran. We like kind of raced each other. That was like, and like I said, that's not anything crazy. I was going, semi fast. I think Chris was really like, bro, he was pushing it. He was going. He was moving. Average pace was 14 minutes. So that's what I'm saying. Like in this whole run, I averaged 14 minutes pretty consistently. I'm at the 15-minute mark, 14-minute mark. The fastest we got to was like the cross streets, and that was like at 10 minutes. So I'm bouncing from the 15 to the 10-minute mark the whole run. And obviously there's going to be little like stunts and starts, but I'm okay with that. Like that's a very reasonable thing. And like I said, with when you're like at higher minutes per mile, like you're at 15, 16, 17, it's very easy to get down to like 10, because like you'll have one jolt of like power, or you like have one good step, and you're just flying for that 1 2 step. So obviously like right here, I kind of pick it up a little bit because there was like a little bit of ice, and that right there is technically 10 minutes. So that's not anything crazy. But when it's lower, like you're running at the 7 minute mile pace, and that's for you like as fast as you can go. If you out of nowhere run 4 minutes per mile, like you're literally selling the whole run. You're selling it, like you're just gassing yourself out for nothing. That's what I've been trying to learn as a runner. I feel like coming back into it. I don't know if I could even consider myself a runner, because raced. I haven't raced anybody in probably a decade. So I haven't been to a meet. I haven't been to an event in over 10 years. But I mean, I'm jogging right now, so I guess you can call me a runner now. But I won't consider myself a runner until I run another event or another 5K or something. Funny enough, this route right here that you see, they run a 5K. So this is like the first 5K I ever ran was actually this route, but the opposite way. So instead of running down, they were running up, and it was on the street, obviously. And I'll never forget, I completely gassed myself, insane amount, like completely gassed it. So it's a 5K. It's not my first time running a 5K. I've ran it a bunch of times in school. You see me running around. A bunch of times in school, I ran a 5K. I ran a 5K on my own time 1,000 times. I was just pretty good at running.
for a 12, 13 year old. The minute the race starts, I don't know why, even with like, I guess I wasn't very an experienced runner. I didn't know like any techniques or anything. I was just like a very raw runner. I completely start sprinting. Like I mean sprinting as soon as the gun went off. And I'm not like second, third, fourth in the pack. I am dead first. I am sprinting for like what feels 4 or 5 blocks. And I'm holding the lead tight. And I just immediately I must have been running at that time at like a 4 minute flat pace. That's how fast I was running. Sprinting, like giving it everything I have, and then completely gassed out. Just completely gassed myself out. And that first mile, I bombed it. I had like 20, 30 people just pass me right up right there as soon as the race started. And it was like a 400 people, 500 people race. But you have all those people. I would say like 300. I don't know why. I don't think it was 400 because I remember like there being less people. As a kid, you feel like it's more people. You like, oh yeah, it was like 1,000 people watching, but it was probably like 300. Not I'm not older. Anyway, I'm sprinting this and I lose the lead. Obviously, I'm like now like 40th and in place. And then my second mile, I kind of hit my stride back. I'm averaging like 6 minutes. I think 6 minutes and like 50 seconds running, and I'm just completely like losing. Like I gas myself up so much in the first one. I'm like, okay, fuck. I kind of get my bearings after the second mile at like a 6 minute and 50 second pace, and then that third mile, it just felt like it felt better, but like for my body, but it felt worse in my mind, like in my lungs. I was like, oh man, I'm fucking killing it. I'm like dying right now. And around this time, not the friend that I'm running with, another friend passed me in this race. So I'm like, holy shit! Like now I'm not even like just like the first kid. I'm like second kid in this race. So now like I'm not even doing good in my mind at all. I'm doing horrendous. So I mean, this guy keep up together basically the whole, I would say, third mile. And I think the last 800 meters, once we saw the finish line, him, we just go for it. We just start sprinting. I mean, absolutely going after it. So we're sprinting, and we're neck and neck, and the crowd could see us. At this point, like the crowd started forming within like the 800 meters, and they start screaming. They're like, ah! They're yelling. It's insane. It was the most insane sporting moment I've probably ever had in my life, at least for like cheering. And I've had like, home runs to win the game, like walk off home runs. Fucking, just like I've had some amazing plays in sports, and that was like the one that I really remember. The crowd was just going crazy. They're like, ah, everyone's screaming, and like me and this guy are like sprinting 1-on-1, and he beat me. Like he was kind of like my rival, I guess, like in school, like athletically, because he was the only one that could really like compete with me. And when he beat me, I was like, fuck, man, I gotta get way faster. There's no way I could just let this shit happen. And now in hindsight, like, and I look back at it, like I just didn't take any of the shit seriously as far as running. Like I feel like I could have pushed it a lot more in training and running more consistently. There was just times that I didn't care about what I was doing running wise, and I was doing a lot more lifting because I really feel that if I was training and doing better, I would have won a lot more races that season. And this was like for a run club. This wasn't even like track yet. We didn't even get into track. So that race, I think I ran it. I think I ran it in 22.05, and he ran it at like 21.59. Like he ran it like just a couple seconds. And honestly, I don't even think it was that far. I think it might have been even closer. I might have been like 22.01, and he might have been 21.59. It was something like that. It was in like I think it was honestly like I'm saying because I think I ran a 22. It might have been though like I ran a 21.59 and he ran like a 21.57. Like that type of deal. I can't really remember, but I remember we were just like super close to running a 7 minute per mile pace. And I think about that, I'm like, man, if I just ran my own race for that first mile, like I don't think that he would have beat me because I think my top end speed was like I was faster than him, but my bottom end speed. And to be fair, like I said it before, but he passed me in the second mile. So like I had caught up to him within the third mile. So when I ran, I was running and he noticed me running and then started sprinting. So like we were neck and neck, but I was at the disadvantage, obviously, which is why I feel like if I didn't gas myself out that first mile, I could have probably won that race. I don't know because he's super competitive. Like I think he would have like turned on the jets regardless. The minute he saw me, he probably had beat me anyway. But I think I could have gave myself a better shot, and then maybe him and me both would have placed higher. Just because I paced myself better. But you live and you learn, and I won a couple races that year. He won a couple races that year. It's a mixed mash of how we did. But we actually got scouted for cross country that year from our races. So we hold a 7 minute mile at like 13 for a 3 miler, like you run in 5K, or I think 5K in cross country. We start I think freshman year with like 2 miles, but I had gotten so good by the end of that year. I was running varsity. They came I believe like in May, April, May, right before we were like picking our high schools to go to, and because of where we were like in middle school, there was like, actually a lot of options for like us to go to high school. So it was almost like college acceptance. So we had applied to, I think all of us had applied to like 5 different high schools in the area. So these like all like private schools and like tech schools, acting schools, depending on like what you wanted to go into. So one of the schools, they came up to us and asked for me and my friend, who were like the fastest runners in the club. So we're like, oh yeah, of course, no problem. Like we could definitely like try it out. So we go to the summer conditioning, and the way him and me saw it is like we have sports that we have to play anyway. Like he had wrestling, I had fucking baseball and football, and I don't think I was playing football anymore. So I think I had baseball, and then I was playing basketball for rec. So I was like, yeah, whatever. Like it'll be good conditioning, we'll be solid. So we ran that summer before the season even started. We had started practicing outside, and I was running. This is when I started like hitting like 4 minute miles too. So I was like at my peak running form. And I started running with varsity like pretty early on. I would say after like the second or third run, the one of the varsity captains liked me and Kai. But Kai, I don't know why I said Kai. I was like contemplating whether to say his name or not. But yeah, it's whatever. He's been in a bunch of videos beforehand, so if you watch my videos, you know who Kyle is. And one of the running captains really liked us, and he was technically the fastest on the team, even though like he wasn't. It's kind of hard to explain, but when you like run long distance, and some of you might watch this and never have ran long distance ever in your life, but just because you're the fastest doesn't mean you're the best runner. And it's weird to say that because, like I said, there are times that I'm the fastest runner in the team, and there's also times I'm the slowest runner in the team, and it doesn't necessarily mean anything for my placing. And the reason because that, at least in the lower level, like I obviously didn't run past high school, but let's say like if you're like a really good runner, like you're really fast, but then like you kind of fuck around, or like you don't push it, or you're just you're going you're running at the wrong time, opening your stride at the wrong time, closing your stride at the wrong time, just fucking you know doing things wrong on the course. You're not really familiar with the course because you didn't review it. There's a lot of things that kind of go into like long distance like running. And the thing with that is like if you're not like up there like really paying attention, you could run a lot slower. So there's times, let's say when I was on the team, I was the slowest. I think this season I when I came back I was the slowest, and some courses I was the fastest just because I was really good at timing and cutting in certain angles and doing certain things during the run, so I was a lot faster. But anyway, I was running with varsity for a while, and I had really, really loved running. Like I thought that was what I was gonna do for the rest of my life. I generally was like looking at times, and I was like, man, if I keep on running the way I'm running right now, I could probably go to the Olympics. Like that's what my mind went to, and I personally think that at that time, if I had kept on training the way I was training myself and like focused, I think that I would have been fast enough to go to the Olympics. At least like I don't know if they did it that year, so it probably would have been like when I was 18 or 16. I would have been the first time I would have been able to go, and I think I would have been fast enough to do it. Now the only problem is once the summer hit, I like went to the gym. I was going to the gym consistently, and I started to like really, really lift weights. And I noticed I'm like, bro, this has to be the weakest I've ever been in my fucking life. So I start. powerlifting around this time, like 13 years old, 14 years old, and I go on a vacation. Now, with me, I've always had like fucking binge eating disorder. Like I put food down like a machine. So I go to this all you could eat vacation in Mexico, and I go in at like 1:45, and I'm still like jogging every day. I'm still like running. I'm not fucking just not doing anything. I was being super active on the trip. When I tell you, I was easily putting down like 10,000 calories. Oh, hold up, my bad. My friend came in. The person that I was literally running with, he like joined Discord, so he was talking to me. But I went from like 1:45, and this was like a 3 day trip. I wasn't there for like fucking years, so I was there for 3 fucking days. So in 3 days, I literally eat everything. I must have been eating around like 10,000 calories a day. And some people are like, "What? No, my God, no way you were doing that." And it's when I tell you, easily for breakfast, I'm putting in like the most amount of calories humanly possible. I'm talking about like one, I would have like a mixed nut melody, going straight like maple syrup, French toast, oatmeal. I'm eating eggs. I'm eating a ton of bacon and a ton of deep fried potatoes. And I'm eating all of these things in like a huge quantity, and it was hot as shit over there in Mexico. It's like 95 degrees. I'm chugging orange juice, like I mean chugging it, like by the gallon. I'm literally eating like so many calories on breakfast. And then like right before bed, I'll have like 4 packets of M&Ms because like the fridge, like you could like eat whatever you want in the fridge for some reason. So I had like 4 packets of M&Ms every night. And then like I said, the middle of the day, like lunch, dinner, like everything was all inclusive. So I would just eat dinner again, bunch of meat, bunch of steak, whatever the fuck I wanted. It really didn't matter. It was really breakfast that fucked me though, because I'm having like just a lot of high calorie dense foods. Oatmeal, nuts, syrup, just all that deep fried shit. And then I was having milkshakes throughout the day. I think that I as like I said, as a 13-year-old, 14-year-old, like it was nice, and it was like the first time I experienced like leaving the country. So having milkshakes every day, and it's comp like they're just giving it to you. So I'm like, bro, of course I'm gonna have these fucking milkshakes or like pina coladas. Like this is awesome. So I must have had like 4, 5, 6. Nah, I want to say like 6, 7 because I would have 3 guaranteed, and then I would have another 3 to 4 of like something else, like a strawberry daiquiri, a pina colada. So I'm having like 7 drinks throughout the whole day. Obviously not an alcoholic. I'm not saying I was like getting sloshed as a teenager. I meant like I was drinking like high calorie dense juices. I was like this for like 3 days, 3 days. So when I came back and I was 175, I was like, what the fuck? How'd I gain? I gained 10 pounds per day. I didn't even know it was humanly possible. And obviously, like some of that, like I wasn't like easily 145. Like 145 is like me like dying. I'm really like I'm only running. I'm barely eating anything. I To put it in perspective, the only time I was ever 145 was at 13 to 12 years old, and then when I was 6 years old. That was the only time I've ever been 145. After 6, I was past 145, and then before and after 12 and 13, I was more than 145. So I've only been 145 twice in my life. I would just naturally was always heavier. Like at 7, 8 years old, 9 years old, I was already close to 200 pounds, and then 9, 10, I was already at 200 pounds. So I've never been less than that. At 175, I felt pretty good. That's I felt pretty athletic. I was still high body fat, but like that's like where I was decent. Like I wasn't like fucking obese, and I was like at a right body fat percentage for a child. So when I go down to like 145, I mean I am literally just like skin and bones. It looks like that was also the first time I ever had abs in my life. So I kind of don't regret going that low in weight, but was that was honestly the best look I think I ever had as a kid. 145, I was shredded. I kind of liked it. I didn't know I could gain 30 pounds in 3 days. So when I came back 175, you could imagine I ran my first mile back. I left and I was running at 4 minutes and 20 seconds, like on average on my mile time. And when I came back, I was running at fucking 6 minutes. in 30 seconds, which isn't bad, but it's not varsity cross country as a freshman. I was slow as shit. And I mean, the minute I came back, everyone's like, "Yo, you got fat as shit. Like, what happened to you?" You know what I mean? My coaches are like, "Yo, dude, what happened on vacation, man? You came back fucking whole different person." And I mean, I can't fucking do anything about that. Like, that's it. I was just fucking too slow. So now I'm running back in freshman, and I had a lot of fun. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I fell in love with running as a sport for myself and like just bettering myself. And I did, like tell me kind of lose weight, but I really, really fell in love with like running, like the camaraderie. Like I never played a sport where I felt like everyone was my friend as much as I did in running. Like it truly felt the most like a family, and it's just because like you look out for each other. You're all doing the same thing. You're all doing the same workout. It's like you're all together no matter what. And it was the only sport like JV, varsity, freshman, girl, boy. Like you're together no matter what. So it feels really nice. And then the meets, it's like you're only running your event and that's it. Like you have to wait and like you're doing a bunch of shit. So you're having a lot of fun talking to people from other schools. Like you've seen each other a bunch of times in other races, so you're just kind of interacting with one another, and it was really fun. And I kind of miss that, honestly. I think that's like another thing why I started running with like my friend, is I just miss that interaction of like I think like working together for the same goal. It was just very nice, and like even competing with somebody else. I've never been competitive like that. Like I've always just tried to better myself, and that's it. But being in that competitive nature, like mindset with other people, it's nice. So that season, like I quit cross country after that first season just because I knew I wasn't gonna lose that weight. It's just because I didn't look bad at that weight. I just was a lot heavier. So I think that I've never been under 175 ever again. Like I since that happened, since that vacation, I've been over 175 for the rest of my life. And even like 2 years ago when I got like pretty lean, I was still like 190, 185. I wasn't even under that 175 that I gained back again because it was closer to my natural weight. Like even back then, by the end of freshman year, 175 was like still pretty lean for me. I think sophomore year, the leanest I got. Oh, to be fair, I got under 175 my sophomore year, but I'm saying like I haven't like that was like only for a short. I was 162, and that was for like 2 3 weeks for vacation. I got like a lot leaner specifically for that. But even then, that's like my natural weight was still right there. It's only like 13 pound difference. Like if I show you like what I looked like at the end, like after that vacation, me at like 13 years old, or like I'm thinking, oh, this is our 5 minute. You can see like we're like really running. Look how fast this guy. He just takes off right here. Completely dusts me. I wasn't gonna push it, bro. The roads, you can see there's like ice on the side. I'm like, nah, bro. I'm not. I'm not gonna go 100% and fucking bust my ass. But yeah, I'll talk more tomorrow on the next run. But yeah, it's just a little log for me. So this is 2.5 miles in 30 minutes. There we go. Average pace 14 minutes and 50 seconds.